Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here, and we're back with another video on the Blackest Night Hawkgirl challenge. This time we'll be doing the silvers only portion of the Nightmare
Harley Quinn
challenge.
Alright, so this is our team. Bronze Harley Quinn is there to give a boost to Silver Jokers, who may be our main damage dealer. Not augmented for crit chance or crit damage, but only for damage and health. And Sinestro is just a warm body. But he's actually been augmented for damage and health too, in case he gets tagged at one of those random tag levels. So it's just, otherwise it'll end up dragging on and on if you got two sort of dead weight guys.
Yeah. The only other option is to have them just be killed right away, but it's hard to swing that sometimes.
Yeah, this is interesting for silver only level where killing Joker is first. So strategy here is actually, instead of dragging it on, is maybe let Harley Quinn soften him up a bit. But although technically, because we're not in multiplayer, they can at most have 2 bars anyways, so it's probably not nearly as bad if we were to knock out killing Joker. So maybe we should just do that. So the idea is, alright, so out of the silvers, same principle as bronze, right? You want to make sure that you augment a guy to make the nightmare fights relatively easy.
Yeah.
But you don't want to, I mean, the crit chance and crit damage are critical for everybody that you're using, say, in Survivor or multiplayer. So don't use it on a guy that you would normally want in Survivor or multiplayer, because then even if you've got a silver team, you're going to be scaling up your competition. It'll make the matchmaker give you tougher fights.
Yeah, so there's no real point. And then it makes it harder if you start with bronze characters and then as they get knocked out you swap to silver and then gold. If you use that strategy, it actually makes it harder to bridge the gap if you're using a better character.
Right.
So those in-between fights, it makes it harder to get like essentially what's a free win.
Yeah, no, totally agree with you.
Yeah.
We've talked about that a few times before. So, yeah, and I think that's the rationale, right? I almost never use Silver Joker except in challenges, and I don't find Sinestro that much fun. If I'm going to play Silvers, I like to play Nightwing, I like to play the Flash and Regime Green Lantern. So I definitely don't want to augment the damage and health in those guys.
Yeah.
What's interesting about Nightmare is the better variety of characters that you're facing as far as making the battles interesting. It's a common complaint, right, in multiplayer, that you end up facing the same teams over and over again. Definitely not in the challenges.
Because they don't need to. I do like that, like, for the bosses and stuff, where you can just play with the stats instead of actually having to just make it the better characters for more challenge, right?
Mm-hmm. Oops. So one thing that the Joker is actually quite good for, and maybe I've been neglecting a bit in not playing him in Survivor or multiplayer, is that he's like some of the Jokers, most of the Jokers, he's got a 4-hit swipe combo, so it makes his effective damage so much better.
Yeah.
But you can see, even without crit chance and crit augmentation, you're sort of really mowing through what should be one of the 3 most difficult, right? Because in Nightmare, I think the 3 hardest ones that people run in trouble with is bronze
Final
only,
bronze,
silver only,
and final battle.
Yeah, because they usually stick in outrageous amounts of health on the last boss.
Just because they can.
Yeah, well, and I guess for people who maybe aren't finishing Nightmare yet, I'm still not a big fan of directly promoting either bronzes or silvers. Mostly because as far as like a long-term kind of fight, or a long-term kind of playing, you're going to get a lot of bronze and silver packs, especially if you're resetting the challenge to farm for credits.
Yeah, and bronze packs are actually not a bad way if you just want to buy something and get something out of it. If you have most guys already, you get a decent amount of the money back.
Right.
Selling stuff.
Yeah, that's right. And if you're still progressing, I don't think it's actually that bad to buy a lot of bronze packs, because they're fun. Some of the support cards, if you got extras, they do, like you said, give a good amount of credits back. And if you don't have them, then you save the money from having to pay for a direct upgrade on the specials, or from buying a support card directly.
Yeah, so it's a good kind of like completionist thing that doesn't cost you that much if you already have everything. The cost of selling it is pretty low.
Right. Yeah, I mean, alright, so the character itself, if you need it, it saves you, I think, a little bit. Maybe not. I can't remember the prices now, but if you need the character, then you're laughing. It's way cheaper. If you don't need the characters, excuse me, then you're gonna get a return on most of it, even if you don't get a good support card. But if you get one of the really good ones, right, like who's the guy I used to always want to get? The Ra's al Ghul card.
Oh yeah. Like the ones that apply to everybody.
Yeah, you'll get a few thousand credits back on the price. So it's like you know what it's like. It's like buying a lottery ticket. That the best you can do is win like a few bucks, but then you have a really like McDonald's. You know what it's like? It's like McDonald's. The scratch. You know when they ever have those competitions?
Yeah.
You have a high chance of winning, but a lot of times it'll be just like free fries or a coffee, which is okay. I don't mind.
Yeah. And sometimes it's fun just to buy things. Like you saved up for a while, you just want to spend a little bit. And if you're completing your collection anyways, you don't have to feel like bad about it. It's not like a waste of money the same way.
Yeah, alright, so we've talked about that a little bit, right? Some of the psychology of what can make it less frustrating, because this is a long-term game, right? And there's a long-term grind. What's hard sometimes is hoarding a huge amount of money for the next sale.
Yeah.
And then you don't get any of the satisfaction of spending some of it. That used to frustrate me to no end, and I ended up buying stuff and I regret it. And I think the bronze packs are actually a good way to do that.
Yeah.
Let off some steam, but still make it. Sorry, so your alternative is you could actually augment a bunch of silver so you could have 3 teams, right? Because you need, if you want to just go through it without waiting, cost 2 energy for this fight. You'll need 1 team will last you for 5 rounds, but you know energy recharges are relatively cheap.
Yeah,
And it's a good way to support the
you can
devs.
get it for free if you use the free recharge glitch too.
Yeah, but I think out of all the things that you could buy, I mean, the pricing on the credits I think is unrealistic compared to say how much the grinding time is worth.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So if we're gonna support the devs, I mean, I guess we could just throw some money without actually getting anything back. But the recharge is actually useful, say in an MP season where you don't want to just keep on doing the glitch and you just want to rank up pretty high for the rewards.
And the other thing that I guess we're not actually necessarily going to do this again, but every once in a while when the game goes on sale for like $5 on Steam, I'll buy it to just throw a couple bucks their way.
Yeah, I like that.
Give it out to somebody.
Oh, and see this, we weren't fast enough there to get to to keep from getting to the tap joy screen. Yeah, no real difficulties here, and I think you know when you've been grinding long enough for Survivor just to get the when you're trying to get the critical augmentations, I think this is as good a place as any to dump your damage and health augmentations. Alright, so Dark Side I've always found difficult. Even though he's relatively slow, there's something about the timing of his attacks that I have trouble, and he always seems to get in his tap attacks. So when I'm facing him, and he's got something like Ra's al Ghul Scimitar, or anything with like a tap combo ender, like a special effect, he always seems to get that on me. I hate Dark Side.
Yeah, we get treated here to a little third special. I love the animations. Yeah, even if it's totally unnecessary, sometimes it's fun to just do the third special and get to watch it.
There's something about being sick, and it makes my voice really deep. I feel like one of those announcers at the beginning of movies.
And it's also very quiet.
Yeah, in a time where Joker is teamed with Harley Quinn and Sinestro.
Begin.
Okay, so there's really no career for me in announcing.
Yeah.
Alright, Cyborg, I wish they would come up with a good gold Cyborg. He seems a little bit cheated. I mean, alright, so, you know, the Titans, right?
Yeah.
So you've got Raven, who's got one hugely game-changing kind of version, right? The life swap.
Crazy good.
Regime, which is okay, and a specific Teen Titans one. And Cyborg has got a bronze, a silver, and a gold, and his gold is relatively kind of low stat. Not bad passive. I wonder if okay. So it occurs to me that when they um, improve the stats for Blackest Night Batman on this upgrade, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, I know it's a good thing for how we play. Like, it's one more character that's fun to play.
Yeah.
Do you think it has any indication at all about what their plan is for Injustice, the mobile game?
I don't know. What are you thinking?
Well, it takes more work to create a completely new character. It takes a little bit less work to just create a new skin.
Yeah.
And it probably takes the least amount of work to upgrade the stats.
Yeah.
So is it possible that they're using that as a way to flesh out this particular upgrade so it seems like it's more than it is? Because we know, alright, so they've announced that Injustice 2 is coming out as a mobile game. And we were speculating and hoping that maybe it is sort of a reskin of Injustice 1, so there's a chance that we could bring our progress over.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, I guess in my mind it maybe bodes, there's a chance that it might mean something. If we're going to be, conspiracy kind of theorists, it bodes that maybe that there's going to be a chance that they're going to be more likely to give up on Injustice 1 and less likely to use it as the basis for 2.
Yeah.
If they're going to stop, it's really the new content, right, is the indication of how much work they're putting into it.
Yeah. Begin. So that would be too bad. But, I guess my hope is that one of two things happens. Either Injustice 2 is way better than Injustice 1 as far as the mobile games go, and people kind of just en masse migrate, or Injustice 2 is really crappy and they abandon it. And it's not like WWE Immortals or Mortal Kombat X were bad, it's just they weren't as good, right? So the game doesn't even need to be like crappy, the game just needs to not be as good as Injustice is for a lot of people.
I think it just needs to be playable. But looking at our own personal experience, I know why I stopped playing Immortals and Mortal Kombat X. Mortal Kombat X because it was unplayable. Like, there was just so many times where I couldn't get on the server, where it wouldn't sync my progress with the server, and I didn't know if there was going to be an update. So to me, putting in the time, grinding it, and not being able to save it, that was the kiss of death for me.
Yeah.
And Immortals, actually that's been playable, but the amount of new content is really limited. They've had like one new gear, the No Mercy gear, in the last, I don't know how many months. It feels like a year. Because for a while they were like coming out with, every new event, new gear.
It was really well updated. But I'm just saying that I hope one way or the other, one of the games easily comes out on top and we don't have to choose or split our time or anything. Like, I like a new good game, but I'd be almost just as happy with a new crappy game, which means that twice the amount of work can be put into the original Injustice on our end, and also that twice the amount of work can be put in on the devs' end. Because I think that would be definitely good.
This was not bad. We're almost done. The silver only ladder. Begin. And I think I know a big part of the reason why the silver ladder is so much harder is because, and by the time you get Nightmare, there's guys that are just way better than you if you don't augment them. And the other ladders where you can just stick in mostly whatever golds you want, with the exception of the
one specific character.
Yeah. You can use your best guys.
Yeah. So, that was it, right?
I think
last fight on the silver ladder.
It just might.
There we go. So we're coming right up on the end of the video. So, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Komoda.